Welcome all of you to this session on BA in Economics and Finance. My name is Nilanjan Banik. I am heading this program, BA in Economics and Finance. Just to give you a brief background, I did my master's in economics from Delhi School of Economics, and thereafter I worked for a few years, and later obtained my PhD in economics from Utah State University, USA. I returned back and joined Anna University, after which I was with IFMR, which is now Kriya University. And later I joined Mahindra Eco Central, and thereafter worked at Bennett University. Now I'm again back at Mahindra University to head this program in economics and finance. So what I'm going to do is trying to make this a little bit more interactive. And I can see that there are 10 attendees. So please feel free to participate, and that will make it much more, I would say, exciting. Now, this webinar is about why should you join a program in BA in Economics and Finance. In particular, why are you looking to join over at Mahindra University? Now, you know that when I was a student, the first thing which used to come to our mind is we always aspire to go to a university or go to a school which are one of the best, because the understanding is there we would be getting trained by good sets of teachers. There we will also be interacting with a peer group which also happens to be one of the best. And therefore, over a period of time, we come out or we become a better trained individual, so that if we want to go for higher study, or for that matter, want to go and work in the industry, we are actually able to do that, So that was the thought process. And fortunately for us, in a way, when I was a student like you, there were not too many of private universities. There were a few government colleges, and many other government-aided colleges and universities. So the choice was kind of obvious. For instance, some of the better known place to study economics at the postgraduate level were at ISI, Indian Statistical Institute, Delhi School of Economics at Delhi University, or for that matter, Jawaharlal Nehru University, which is again based out of Delhi. But then the competition was quite rigorous, and some of us who were fortunate to clear the entrance exam eventually took up, for instance, I graduated from Delhi University, so I was fortunate that I got a seat over there, because out of 60,000 people who wrote that exam, there were only 126. Now, fast forward, when you are now applying or thinking of applying to some graduate program in economics and finance, the good news is there are many more options available in comparison to what were there when I was a student like you, So therefore, that is a good news, because the choices are ample. The not so good news is, by the way, because I can see 10 attendees over there. Any idea how many number of universities are there in India right now? Anyone? Yeah, I see one hand. Yes. Yeah, Anup, go ahead. Can you unmute yourself and tell me?
Yeah, Kriya.
Okay, Priya, yeah.
I'm Mrs. Anup here.
Okay.
Anup is busy with his office work.
Okay.
Yeah, Kriya, and there is one in Delhi.
So how many private, so my question is, if in India, if I'm looking at the number of universities available, there are now close to 1,000 universities,
Yeah.
And every year there are close to 3.4 million graduates who are passing out, So
yes,
that is the good news, Priya. The not so good news is, out of that 3.4 million graduates we are talking about, most of them are not employable, So therefore, the idea is to figure out that which university should I get myself admitted, or for that matter, which university I'd like to see my son or daughter going to, is to look into the curriculum, So, and there is, I think, where we differentiate ourselves, we differentiate ourselves in terms of the faculty we have, in terms of my colleagues who are going to teach this at this program. We are going to differentiate in terms of the curriculum that we are going to offer in this particular program. We are also going to differentiate in terms of the industry relation, because we also have an industry advisory board who kind of advise us about what are the type of curriculum we should follow. So let me build on this. Now, another question which I have is, let's say that you are starting with a clean slate, in the sense that you have no a priori information as to how this university is going to be or how this program is going to be. Because as you know that this is a newly launched program, we have started only from this year. So the first thing which should come to your mind is how good or how bad, maybe, is this program is going to be. And to understand that, I would, in economics, I'm trained as an economist, so we always do what is known as counterfactual experiment. Now, what is counterfactual experiment? Is to try to see that what are the other programs in this particular university, how they are doing, and therefore we can try to get some sense that if the other programs are doing like what they are doing right now, maybe this program will also be, we will be having similar type of rigorousness or similar type of industry relation. Again, just to simplify the matter, if I'm buying any product from Hindustan Unilever, I know for sure, because this product is coming from Hindustan Unilever, there will be some basic bare minimum standardization, which is going to come with this brand, So therefore, if I am looking into the Mahindra University, the best way to start off with, because we are just starting off, the best way to start off with is to understand how our peers who are operating over the last 5 years, which is the School of Engineering, they are doing. So if I were to build on that, so basically what we are trying to tell you is the Mahindra University is backed by the Mahindra Group, and this is a well-known group, and and I don't have to say much about this, because it has got a dollar revenue of in excess of $20 billion US. It is spread across 22 sectors. Mahindra University in particular is backed by Tech Mahindra Group, which has presence in digital data, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. And the point to highlight here is we are talking about technology, So that is one of the differentiator, and that is something I'm going to build up as we proceed further. You will find that in our curriculum, not only we have formed an industry advisory board who are going to tell us what would be the cutting edge curriculum should look like in order to make your graduate industry ready, but also our parent company who are actually backing us, they are also in this business of cutting edge technology. We, as I was mentioning, that in the counterfactual experiment setup, I will also look into how the School of Engineering, which is the Ecole Central School of Engineering, how that particular college is doing. And you will find that in our engineering school, we have some of the best faculties who have graduated from Harvard, Iowa, Florida, Illinois, IITs. In fact, we have some of our engineering faculty also coming and teaching us, and I'm going to build on that again as we proceed further. And the other part is, in addition to teaching and learning experience in terms of the campus, it's a very beautiful campus, 100+ acre of lush green campus. So the student also, in addition to the teaching activities, they can also enjoy their life, be it sporting activity, be it going out and enjoy the environment and things like that. So it's more like a holistic type of development that we are talking about. Now, about the School of Management, so the School of Management, now let's talk about the curriculum, So when we started, and this is, I'm emphasizing over and over again, the idea was two things. One is whether our curriculum is such that whether if the students wanting to go to the job market after graduating from here, will they find a job? Because I just now mentioned a few minutes back, we have had around 3.4 million graduates passing out every year. And if you look into the data, daily less than 2% of the Indian graduates who apply for jobs actually get one. And therefore, why is it that the remaining 98% of the population, they are not able to find a job? So when we spoke to the industry leader, or for that matter, if you speak to some of the people who are working in the consulting firm or the Big Four, they will tell you that most of the curriculum which are being taught in these 1,000-odd industries, in most of them, the curriculum are backdated. They emphasize on rote learning without trying to understand whether the student have got some hand-on experience, So there we come in, there we try to make a differentiation. And thankfully, our partner in this regard is Cornell S.C. Johnson School of Business. Now, as you know, that the Cornell University is one of the one of the top-rated university, Ivy League university, with around 150 years of experience. We starting from March, this much I can tell you that we started interacting with the faculty, trying to understand what would be the most cutting edge type of curriculum that we bring to the table, so that even if someone in India want to have this Ivy League type of education, he or she can actually obtain that. You don't have to go out to the US. You can probably get at 1/10 of the price as how much you have to spend if you were to send your son and daughter over to the US and get this Ivy League education. We are not saying that we are going to, we are as par with, let's say, Cornell Johnson, but what we are claiming is because we have this collaboration in terms of setting up our curriculum, we are able to standardize our curriculum in the sense that what is being taught in most of the US undergrad schools, you will find those courses are being taught over here at Mahindra. So I just want to flag that very important thing, which is you don't have to go to the US. You still get the same type of education, maybe at 1/10 of the price, with the luxury of staying back in your country, maybe in your city, and getting access to the similar type of program which is being offered out there in some of the Ivy League colleges. And there, the importance of having this partnership with the US Cornell University, okay? We are also giving you the opportunity to spend 3 weeks time over going to Ithaca campus, where the Cornell University is based out at, and take few courses from their faculty. In fact, their faculty is also going to, some of their faculties are also going to come and visit, and that is conditional upon that this COVID protocol or the COVID thing goes away, Otherwise, they will still be indulging in teaching, but in the online mode. Now, this is the campus of Cornell Johnson College of Business, where if you are joining, you will get an opportunity to visit there for the internship program for 3 weeks during the summertime. Now, just to give you an idea about why we want to study economics and finance, again, economics and finance is not only about making money. It's not about stock market. It's not about getting a, let's say, hefty paycheck. It's not about, economics and finance, what we are going to teach you is all about these three important, what we call group of people, group of I won't say people, but group of agents. The first is people, the second is firms, and the third is government. Now, it's all about the choices that the people make. It's about the choices the firm make. It's about the choices the government makes. Now, why people, or that for that matter, firms and government, they make choices? Because resources are limited. Even if I'm talking about the government, you can always try to argue that government may have got all the governments, they may have got access to, they can ask the central banks to print as much money, but that is not the option, because if you're printing money without any your real sector doing well, that will add up to inflation and the economy will collapse. So the economics is all about choices that people make. Why choices? Because the resources are scarce, and therefore I want to prioritize which one of the activities out of various activities which are available I should be doing, on the basis of the return, marginal return that I'm making. So economics and finance train you to make a choice which is more relevant, which is more profitable, which is more maybe going to increase your satisfaction or utility. Okay. Now coming back to what I was trying to, so I have spoken about why Mahindra University's this BA Economics and Finance, because we have designed a curriculum which you will not be getting elsewhere in India. This curriculum is in tandem with what is offered in some of the best schools in the world. We have designed this curriculum in collaboration, in consultation with Cornell University, which happens to be one of the Ivy League universities. And therefore, what we are promising is, we are promising you a training or a curriculum which is cutting edge, which will help you not only to become industry ready, but also if you want to go for higher studies, because you'll be trained in basic understanding of economics and finance. Let's say after the end of this program, you want to go for higher studies or maybe do a master's from ISI Delhi or Delhi School of Economics or JNU. I am 100% sure the curriculum that you'll be going through will allow you to compete yourself in all this highly competitive or all this highly premier institute, and maybe you will also get a chance to study over there. Now, one thing is about designing the curriculum. The other thing is you should also have people who are qualified enough to teach this curriculum, and therefore we were very conscious about the people who we have hired. Starting from March, we have had received close to 200 applications, out of which we have handpicked or cherry-picked 10 of us. And these 10 faculty members are already recruited. And who are them? 3 of us, we are having a PhD degree from outside India. Our dean, he is a well-known entrepreneur and strategy professor across the, he's one of the top few professors in entrepreneurship and strategy. He was the dean of China Europe Business School for a long period of time. Before that, he was also working with IESE. That's again a prestigious business school based out of Spain. Our BBA in digital technology is headed by Professor Pradeep Racharya. He is also a well-known marketing professor. He obtained his degree from Temple University. Myself, Nilanjan Banik, I have obtained my degree from Utah State University. Our dean, Professor Ramakrishna Velamuri, as I mentioned, he's one of the top-notch professors, not only in terms of research, but also in terms of teaching in the area of entrepreneurship and strategy. We have also hired few faculties who have graduated from IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore. 2 are from IFMR, 1 is from BITS Pilani. And so these are the, all are very trained in research, and we have been publishing quite a bit. which is to showcase the robustness or the rigorousness of our program, because as I said, that one thing is to design curriculum with the help of some of the best schools around the world, but you also need people to teach them. And here I can proudly say that this, my peer group, my colleagues, are one of the best trained in their respective field. So in the first year, as you know, that I'm teaching with my colleague George this course in microeconomics. Principle of marketing is being taught by Pradeep Racharla, and you can see the degree also of the professors, just to showcase that they are qualified enough to offer this program. Introduction to statistics is taught by Pranjal. Financial accounting is taught by Professor Rafat, who is the former director of Center for Economics and Finance. For a long period of time, she was with Administrative Staff College. She's also teaching at Indian School of Business. Spreadsheet modeling for decision making is taught by Professor Ayushi Tandon. Then business communication is taught by Shivdasini Singh Amin. And entrepreneurship lab is taught by Professor Rajkumar Fatate. And the Cornell course will be partly taught by our dean, Professor Ramakrishna Velamuri, and Professor Risa Mish, who is going to visit us from the University of Cornell. So this is in short about the capability part, because we have first talked about the designing of the curriculum. Why designing of the curriculum? Again, to refresh, because we want to ensure that the students are industry ready, A. B, if they want to go for higher study in some premier institute, they have the required training to do that, so that is the B part. Then I explained that we also have hired the faculty of high caliber who can actually deliver this program, And now let me come to the C part, because we also, as I mentioned, that we want to make our student industry ready, and therefore we also wanted to get some advice from our industry advisory board. So we have actually formed one industry advisory board where we have people from financial startups, where we have people from Reserve Bank of India, where we have people from who are working as economists, finance specialists, and things like that. Now, these are some of the things which, now let me come a little bit more about the how we have designed this curriculum, because that will give you an idea about what is there. So in the first year, we have what is called common core, because as you know that we have 3 degrees. One is BA in Economics and Finance, one is BBA in Digital Technology, and BBA in Digital Analytics. So these are the 3 programs we are running. So in the first, this common core that you see in this slide are the courses which are offered across these 3 programs. So these are common to all the program, irrespective of the specialization that you are taking. Then you have program core. So for instance, program core for economics will be different than the program core for BBA in digital technology or BBA in digital analytics. And thereafter you have specialization. So just to give you an idea of what we expect, so what we expect for our student once they are trained in this program, if you are getting a data like this, so for instance, India's GDP at constant price grew at a compound annualized growth rate of nearly 6.5% over these 30 years. So what does it mean? So they will be able to interpret these numbers, They will be able to come out with what would be the better choice, or where to invest and how to invest. So these are the why and what and how part. That is something we are going to train in our program. Now, just to give you the bigger picture in terms of the program curriculum, in the first year, you have typically in the core program, you have all these courses coming from entrepreneurship, management principle, marketing, economics, critical thinking, and problem solving. So this is quite important, because if you're emphasizing on rote learning, you don't give importance to critical thinking and problem solving, something that we are doing, something which is valued even in US and most of the European countries. So we are also putting emphasis on that. We are also putting emphasis on programming skill. We are not putting emphasis on statistics. We are putting emphasis on finance, mathematics. So this is going to give you the foundation. So just to give you a broad idea of what are the courses that you are going to take in economics, you have macro, micro, managerial, political economy, industrial economics, so on and so forth. In finance, you have financial accounting, introduction to finance, and we are going to share this slide. So if you want to go into greater details or if you have any particular question about any program or any subject area, which is falling under, let's say, economics, finance, or statistics, you can come back to me. So the other things which I want to emphasize is, this is again a differentiator for us because we are also backed with a Tech Mahindra group, and we are offering, we also have the flexibility of offering some courses from the engineering school. So we are also putting emphasis on the technology part, which is not there in any undergraduate, this much I can tell you right now, in any undergraduate program in India, which is offering a program in BA in economics and finance. So in terms of differentiator, not only we are looking into subject areas, spreading across other disciplines, for instance, management, marketing, strategy, operation, but also we are equally putting emphasis on programming language. We are putting emphasis on statistics, econometrics, mathematics, and the technology, the technological aspect of it. For instance, DBMS with SQL, programming with Python. So I just now mentioned that we will also be taking help of our engineering faculties. So we are thinking that, for instance, this SQL course will be offered by faculty from our computer science department. Again, why? Because these are the requirements, what we figured out in consultation with the Cornell University. These are the courses that the student need to learn if they want to become industry ready, if they want, or for that matter, because the way paradigm is shifting, unless and otherwise you put emphasis on mathematics, statistics, and technology, you are not going to get the job, or for that matter, you are not going to get into any good universities in the years to come. So that therefore this excessive emphasis on finance, statistics, mathematics, and technology part. What are the careers possible? I think the sky is the limit if you actually are able to. And again, if you look into where our students from the School of Engineering, they have gone to some of the best known universities in the world. And again, why? Because the curriculum we are offering at Mahindra University is one of the best. So our student from the School of Engineering, they have gone for higher study at University of California, Berkeley, Georgia Tech, Carnegie Mellon, Columbia, Stanford, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, so on and so forth. As you can see from the names, these are one of the best in the world. Some of them have opted to go for, after graduating, they have opted to, for instance, once I graduated from Delhi School of Economics, I opted to work for a few years before I went to get my PhD, because I wanted to pay for my from my own pocket without actually asking my parents to pay for this. So if you also want to work for a few years, that also helps to get you some more exposure in terms of experience that you earn, and thereafter you apply. You can also do that because that's what we also are trying to make our graduate student to be industry ready. So what type of jobs that you can expect to get? These are the jobs which are in the domain of business analyst, business analytics, financial analytics, research, and consulting space. So you can get jobs under these domain areas. These are the industry: banking, finance, services industry, consulting, IT and IT-enabled services, manufacturing startups, academic institution, e-commerce companies. These are who can be your potential employers. Okay. And if you want to know more about our program, follow us on Instagram, Facebook. I think I have spoken more than what I wanted to convey in terms of information. But I also wanted to get some, make it more Q&A types out. So I will stop here, and I will strongly, would you be able to, any other question which I can take?
The attendees, if you have any questions, please type in the questions in the Q&A box so that the professor can check and respond.
Yeah, Gayatri, go ahead.
Sir, this is a parent.
Okay.
My son would be completing his program in 2022, is it coming year. So I just want to know, when would you start with your admission process? And anyway, he would be writing SAT also. So
Okay.
when are you likely to start with your admission process? We are based in Bangalore.
Okay, so Mrs. Gayatri, like to answer your question, we'll be starting the process sometime in November. The application will go live in November for 2022, and then you can submit your application, and the interviews and all will be lined up subsequently.
Thank you, sir.
So there is another question, is there any option for fourth year? So something that we are not yet decided, but going by the new education policy, if and when that comes in, we are actually going to float this fourth year, where basically the fourth year will be more like research, internship-based curriculum. So there will be a part of the curriculum for internship, there will be part of the curriculum for research. And this fourth year program will enable you, so even if you are joining this year, hopefully once you are at your third year, you may get access to this fourth year. Again, it depends upon the new education policy. That is something that we are going to. So that will actually allow you to directly apply for master's or PhD level program in the US. Can I know the tenure of the course and the fee structure? I think my colleague from the marketing team, you can get in touch. Anuprabha Shivaraman is asking this question. So my colleague from marketing team will be able to. So the tenure of the course as of now is 3 years, but we are planning to extend it, if at all we are allowed to do that, to fourth year. What is the admission process for this year? We have this question coming from Sakshi. The admission process is you come for the personal interview. Myself and my dean will be there. And then if we find you eligible, you are admitted. Is there any coverage of ESG and green finance? Yes, that will be covered as part of the specialized course, maybe at the end of second year or beginning of third year. Sakshi again she has a question, which is, I'm planning to pursue an MBA and a career in diversity and inclusion. Do you think the program is, so MBA, yes, because if again, the key word is where you are trying to get your MBA from. If you are going to get your MBA from the Premier Institute, you will have to qualify with a good percentage marks in CATs. And now in order to qualify, get good marks in CAT, you need a better training, which we are promising. And how you do once you sit for that exam, it's up to you. Total number of student intake per year, 30 students per batch, per program per year. Yeah. So in economics and finance, we have 30 students to start with. Yeah.
Professor, with your permission, I'd like to talk briefly about the admission process.
Yes.
Some of the questions were around it.
Yeah.
So to the students who are looking at admission for taking in this year, 2021 academic year, we are having the last round of interviews for this cycle sometime in this week, that is Thursday. We're going to do it in the evening at 4:30 to 6:30. In case if there is anyone who's not yet applied to us, please submit your application online, and you will be getting a call from us with the interview schedule. And once the interview is cleared, you will be made an admission offer, and this is the final leg of admissions. So we request you to if you're very keen about joining Mahindra University for 2021 batch, this is the last chance. And the academic fees wise, academic fees is 3 lakhs per annum, and hostel fees would be 2 lakhs per annum. And hostel stay is not mandatory for students. Students can come in as day scholars. So, and we also offer scholarships to students. That is 10% of the batch is given a scholarship of 75,000. So for example, if you have an intake of say 30 students in a branch, 3 students will be given 75,000 scholarships. That's the scholarship which we extend to the top 10% of the batch.
Any other question which I can clarify, I can take?
Professor, there's a question on semester exchange with Cornell.
Yeah, so right now what we have is we have the internship program where basically you are going to spend 3 weeks time in Cornell. But we don't have, as of now, the semester exchange program. So that is something we are talking with Cornell, which is, we have not gone to that stage, so that would be done. If we apply in November for next year. So Rakesh, you may answer that.
Yeah. So if in case you apply in November, so the first round of interviews is likely to happen by end of November or early December, and immediately you'll be known your status of admission. So if you wish to take admission with us, you can block as early as the first week of December for the 2022 batch.
So will the classes, yeah, so we are actually offering both in the hybrid mode, meaning that we have offline, also online, so we have students who already, they have come to campus. So for them, it's offline, but yet few of them, they have opted to go for online. So it's going to be on the hybrid mode. Okay, then I wish you all the best. And I think if there is no other question, are you going to increase intake for next year? Also, will the personnel? So as of now, we are going with this 30 as the number of students. We will see as it comes. I think my colleague Rakesh has already mentioned that we are providing scholarship of 75,000 for the 10% of the student, the brightest of them,
Okay, so one small piece of additional information which I'd like to share. The fee structure of 3 lakhs, which I mentioned, is primarily for our BBA program. For BA in Economics and Finance program, the fees is 2.5 lakhs per annum.
5 lakhs, yeah. And this 75,000 is per year or per
year?
Per year. Okay. Okay. So I would, can you please repeat the date? So Rakesh, can you please repeat the date?
Yeah. So for 2022 admissions, the applications will go live in the month of November, and the first round of interviews for the 2022 batch is likely to happen by end of November or first week of December. That's the timeline we're looking at. A formal admission notification will be announced from our side by 3rd week of October, and then you can please follow that and then apply for the during the month of November.
And is the interview in person or online?
It'll be virtual.
Yeah. And this interview is going to happen this Thursday, right? For those who want to.
For 2021 batch, this Thursday is the final round.
Final round. Okay.
Fine. So I would also be announcing the the contact numbers in the chat window. If in case anyone has any queries, myself and my colleague Ashu are there. You can reach out to us directly on the numbers that you're going to provide in the chat window. We would be glad to take up your questions offline. So I thank you, Professor. Thanks for taking your time.
Thank you very much. Yeah, all the best and all the best.